Okay, so I wanted to talk in chapter 11 a little bit and explain what I do to get a headphone mix for the artist. 9 times out of 10, if you're just starting out as a producer, or even if you're established like myself, you're going to work with people that are not experienced with getting their headphones proper. They might have played around at home, they might have done some demos, things with their friends, but their idea of what a good headphone mix is and what is a headphone mix that brings the optimum success for them is usually two different things. So what I will do is I will let the artist on his own communicate with the engineer what he needs to hear. More whatever in the track, more drums, more snare, more anything. The engineer, in the case for me, I have an experienced engineer, will send him a fairly decently submixed basic track to sing to. Then they're going to want to hear their voice, and they're possibly going to want to hear reverb and delay, probably more so reverb. And they're probably going to want to hear more reverb than they should, and they're probably going to want to hear more of their vocal than they should. The louder the vocal is, the harder it is for them to settle into the track, harder for them to sing in time perfectly, and harder for them to sing in pitch. That said, what I will usually do is allow them some time to get comfortable and get a headphone mix that they like. And if they don't look like they're floundering, I will say, you got a headphone mix you like, you're comfortable with that. Then I will come in here, have the engineer play the track, get them warmed up, listen to what they're doing. 9 times out of 10, what I then will do will be, I will ask the engineer, in this case Tony Rambo, I'll say, Tony, configure the board so that I can hear what they're hearing. So I want to hear their headphone mix coming off of the board, which is not always the case when you're recording, because the board could be in monitor and they could be in headphone. So I will ask him to reconfigure the board so that I hear the headphone mix. So there will be an insert that'll show you, Tony will explain what he does on this board to put it into headphone mix. But it's going to be different in all platforms that you use, but it's going to be there. You're going to have to figure out how to do it, but it will be available to you. Remember, you want to hear the same mix that the singer is hearing. That said, once that's done and I listen to it, 9 times out of 10, the vocal will be too loud and there'll be too much reverb. So I ever so slightly either request the engineer or do it myself, where I'm going to pull back the fader and bring the volume of the vocal down ever so slightly while they're singing, bring the reverb down ever so slightly while they're singing. See how much I can get away with monitoring how they feel. I'll do it in the course of a song until I hear out here that it sounds, oh, this is sounding right, it's sounding a little more mixed than in the track. And as long as they don't complain once they're done, like, I can't hear myself, or oh, I need more reverb, 9 times out of 10 they won't do that. But you'll see that they'll settle into the track better. So that's one trick that I use. I don't really include the singer into this mystery thing of how I got them to sing better into the track and better in time. So we'll cut an insert, and Tony will show you how we put this board into monitor, from monitoring in the studio to headphone mix. That's headphone mix now.
So this particular console, we send headphones auxiliary 1 and 2 pre-fader, and auxiliary 1 and 2 talkback goes to those two pots only, those two auxiliaries. So in order for Pete to hear the headphones, I come up and I solo auxiliary 1 and 2. And then, now this is what the singer is hearing, this right here. So Pete will make his adjustment, a little less vocal. Don't need the high-pitched stuff in his headphones. Take that out, put it really low. That also affects the singer's tuning. You don't want to talk back when you're in solo in the auxiliary mode, because that will send feedback to the headphones and that causes problems. So once Pete feels happy with what he's hearing, now we can listen to what we're listening to. And the reason we send it pre-fader is we can listen however we want to in here, and it's not affecting what he's hearing. he's hearing from these pots here. And I think that is our headphone mix setup.